Yeah. Okay folks, do us all a favour, start sharing the link, spreading the love out there. Got Loki in the studio, go chat to him in a little sec.
Brothers try and relax, a new storm, see me gripping candles, spilling the wax. Gotta see a bit of life, lit a drill in the facts. School days getting blazed, put my pill in the class. Back in the game, born to make the faculty pay. I wanna get away and see what an Iraqi would say. My six spits hitting haters, fucking damaging, yeah. A proper roundhouse kick, Van Damme again. The real we seek, clear when I see the peaks. Lynch mob for the politicians feeling the heat. Stealing the sheets, obviously bleeding the weak. Man, that's the type of shit that we see every week. And the media's obsessed with the mind control, trying to penetrate my brain till I was 5 years old. But I never took the shape they were trying to mold, cause I don't believe a word of the lies they told. I'm a mad psychotical beast when I'm penning these sheets. Man, you can't, it is me when the pen it'll bleed. I'm a varied piece, I'm in varied belief. I'm a sycophant and sucker MCs. I used to simmer the beef, decrease heat, give them veggies and cheese. But little Ned's in my belly, man, you are what you eat. Don't want a problem with me, whiskey in my gut. How we dramas, I please don't want no drama with thee or these three. Chains free, can't cheat, cutting a breeze. Scissor kick, back flip, stand strong as old trees. And G, you owe me, I've been cutting these flows since so free. This phoenix is bulimic, throwing up stomach acid. You can eat a little chicks, regurgitate to the masses. Touching masses in my palms, hold nothing back when holy water burns the skin. Guess it's made from my saliva. Damn it man, better calm it man. MCs in the game, play games just for the camera SOS. I tough when the camera go quick. Real talk SOS after glow sick. Make way when I'm busting my ish. Sideline haters getting served on dish. Back in your place like a Christmas wish. It's all black and white like Schindler's List. Writing the intangible, rappers take a sabbatical. We tangle them in mathematical bars, but beats flammable. When it's peak thoughts retreat through your mantle. SOS on repeat, burning wax like candles.
Big shout Weld, big shout to Blasphemy Sinner, just dropped a new album. Make sure you go and cop that. I want to say a happy birthday to Mr. Defy. I feel it's only right to say that at the beginning of the show.
I was going to say that, aye.
Well, you darn okay, let me turn your mic up a bit. Happy birthday to Mr. Defy.
Very happy birthday. I had intentions of making the party last night, and as usually it is when you have a big family day, you've got big intentions in the morning, and then when it gets to the night you're like, oh my god, actually I'm about to fall into a coma. So I sat it out, but happy birthday big man.
Big shout to you. I'm gonna give him a present. He's hinted at me for something for a few times I've seen him, so.
Is it vinyl?
I can't even say, it's no vinyl, but I can't even say, right, I can't even say. But Darren, Loki, good to see you man.
You too mate.
Thanks for coming by the kitchen today.
No problem.
Before I get started, I want to say to people watching us right now, drop a comment and let us know where you are watching it right now. It's always good to know that because we're nosy. And also keep sharing the link. So Darren, known you since what, 2003 I think? Through the legend Big Div. We had him up in the podcast maybe a month ago.
Shouts to Big Div.
And since then you've just went on to meteoric rise. And I'm going to sort of talk about that a wee bit tonight. But I'm going to talk about that via music. Because music is how I got introduced to you. And music is still what we're talking about tonight. Okay, so this song here, I don't know how you feel about me playing it actually, right? But this song here, I feel sort of is your story. Do you remember this song from the Welcome to the Ninth World? Seems like only yesterday.
Aye, I remember it. I remember it well because it was the first song, really proper song that I wrote.
Okay.
So I'd been kind of experimenting with rapping and beats and whatever, and then like there's a lot of different versions of that song. So there's a version that I recorded with an American accent, which is probably on a cassette tape that I sent to Div. And then there's a version I recorded in a Scottish accent once like I started feeling that was how I wanted to go. And then there was a version that I recorded with Div in a studio in Paisley before he put out my first album.
Did you actually send a letter to Big Div? Was that how your relationship started?
Pretty much. I was working on this wee short film thing. It was just a kind of, it was about, I can't remember if it was about teenage pregnancy or like knife crime or something like that. It was like a wee production company got funded to work with people in schemes. And I was involved in that. I had peroxide blonde hair, chronic acne. I was a sight for sore eyes. And I remember saying to the director, I was like, here I rap, get me on the soundtrack and all that. And then I don't think he was that into whatever I was up for doing.
Okay.
But he knew Div through some other community thing. So he was like, there's this guy in Paisley you should get in touch with. So he gave me like contact details. And then I wrote Div a letter and posted him the tape. I phoned him actually first for my granny's. I stayed with my granny at the time. And he was cool on the phone, and then I sent the thing through, and then I think the first time he actually just got me a taxi through, and I just chilled with him and Tracy, and they're very, very wee wains at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like the beginning of my education in hip hop that continues to this day. But I like everything that's going on for me, like that you're referring to, it all begins with Div seeing something in me and give me an opportunity and really kind of nurturing me when I didn't have a lot going on, you know.
Yep, and this song I'm going to play in a moment. It was on one of the first songs I heard from you. I think I heard the whole album at the same time. The whole Welcome to the Ninth World CD. I think Big Div gave me the whole thing. Rocked it for ages, man. But this one here was to me your story, and it was also like the sound of Pollok to me. So I'm going to play this right now because I think it's a good place to start.
Seems like only yesterday. Seems like only yesterday. Seems like only yesterday. Seems like only yesterday.
23rd of April 1984. My grandpa said it was the brightest day he'd ever saw. On a bright day was the day that I was born, and the memory I have is the warmth that I saw in your eyes when you took your first glance at me. From that day on we had a bond no one else could see. My granddad, my aunt, even you dad would never know the thing we had only a mum and son can have. You took me home and wrapped me up inside a woolen cover. From that day on I knew inside that I would always love her, and just knowing she was there would make me feel safe. I thought we'd be together till the end of our days. When we got home you placed me in my new cot. You let me sleep with you and dad cause I used to cry a lot. All those little things brought us closer together, and I had nothing to fear cause it would be like this forever.
What should I do? Should I do? Now you're gone, now you're gone. Seems like only yesterday. What I do.
Now by this time my dad was working a lot, and there was someone else who was sleeping in my cot. That someone else turned out to be a little girl, my sister, and I loved her, feeling cool to be a brother. I'll never know why she never cried as much as me. When I was a baby you couldn't handle me except my little gran. She tried to keep me happy, feeding, clothing, washing me and trying to change in nappies. Then I started to notice my mother didn't look good. In fact she'd forget to make me and Sarah food. I thought she must be tired, maybe she needed rest. But in the morning she'd forget to get Sarah dressed. Her face after a while began to look pale. She never even bothered to open her own mail. She dropped me off late at my new nursery and kept on drinking and screen stuff. I think she was thirsty.
What should I do? Should
By now my mother seemed like a different person. I was so afraid of her, she kept on screaming and swearing. But I felt better when I get her green water, cause then she'd say nice things that make me wanna hug her. We even played a little game called hide the bottles. I would beat you every time cause I would throw them in the forest. My dad always lost, I don't think he even knew. He searched the house but it was only me and you that knew. I'll never understand how you acted so strange. One day you'd be my mother, then the next you would change into this crazy person, always crying about her life. You even chased me up the stairs with a kitchen knife. My little brother Paul just cried all the time. I think it's cause you scared him when you used to cry. Then one day I came home to find you and Sarah gone. You never even said goodbye to me and my dad or Paul.
What should I do? Should I do? Now you're gone. Now you're gone. Seems like only yesterday. What I do.
Many years down the line, now I'm all grown up. Lots of things are different now, but I think of you a lot. I guess I'll never know how you turned like that so quick. I'll probably never ever know why you can't live without drink. Me, Dad, Sarah, Paul, we're living with the scars. When I want to see your face and I just look up at the stars, cause I know whatever you are, then you can see them too. And that makes me feel as if I'm closer to you. I just want you to know that I don't hate you anymore. I know why you packed your stuff and walked out the door. You thought we'd all survive better without you, and cause you had the nerve to do it, I respect you. I wish I had the chance, and one chance alone, to tell you that I still wish you'd just come on home. If you seen in my eyes all this love I got for you, maybe then you'd do the thing that would make my dream true.
What should I do? Should I do? Now you're gone. Now you're gone. Seems like only yesterday. What I do.
Anybody listening to this song, don't get depressed and don't get sad. It's just me talking to my mum. I don't know if she can hear me, so I'll just keep looking up at the stars.
Loki, welcome to the Ninth World.
Yeah.
Love you, mum.
For me, when I heard that, it was like a pivotal moment in our scene. There was a raw, broad Glaswegian accent. Not just that, the words, the slang was there. And the story was something that lots of us could relate to as well. How long did it take you to make that album?
Wow, that's a good question. It depends. A lot of the stuff. See, back then I was able to write songs much quicker. I didn't have a lot else to do, you know. So rap and concentrating on rap was really my main focus. That's what sort of kept me grounded. As I was living in supported accommodation. My alcoholism was beginning to kick in, and the drugs and all that. And so, like, really, the music was the thing that I was dead focused and motivated for. That's really what helped me survive all of that stuff. So the tunes, I think I would have took maybe, I don't know, less than a year really.
What age were you actually? 17?
I started the album when I was 16.
Okay.
And then I met Div, and then the album started to kind of change as I met other people. Like, you know, I kicked about with the Blackheart boys, like Tank and Colin.
There's a lot of Tank on the album.
And Ian,
yeah.
aye. And so we would rehearse, and just all these different influences were coming in. And really Div was just a kind of constant through that. But even in that first album, you can kind of hear, in the beat selection and in the sample selection that, like, my music tastes were a bit broader than just hip hop, and as much as like hip hop is my where I channel it all, I've always continued to try and bring the other influences into mix.
This song's very biographical as well, and a good start to the people who maybe don't know you, and we want to talk about Loki tonight. Anybody in Scotland that does they know you at the moment?
I don't know, man. I mean, obviously it's quite mad what's going on. I think, like, for me, one of the things that gives me the most joy is actually people who have known me a long time seeing what's happening, because it's dead satisfying when you reconnect with people that you've known, and you can just tell that they're chuffed for what's going on. You know, and I always try to carry the message of who I really am, wherever I am. Know what I mean? So it's like people, even if I'm away doing mad things, it see my way over there. Like it's still me. So people can see that and they're like, no, that's him. That's the Darren I know. Or that's the Loki I know.
Yep.
So that's nice, you know, because I know that these people will dance around things. They'll be quite frank with me if they think I'm getting above my station. So it's nice to reconnect, you know.
How did it feel listening to your old songs?
The usual stuff that you would feel when you feel it at first. You're sort of like, oh man, like my shit wasn't really that tight. But then I remember Scribble, who's part of our crew, I remember when he went, we'd go through and chill with Div and Paisley now and again, and I think they would just get charged up and just do what they do. And I think Div was as Div always takes you on a nostalgia tour whenever you see him.
Okay.
And so he would have been playing all the old shit, but I think he actually played Scribble, like my very first demo tape. It was called Public Enemy. This was a cassette tape. I designed the cover, drew them all myself, copied them, dubbed them, punting them in school and all that, rapping in an American accent. And I remember John phoning me and he was like, I hate you. And I was like, why? And he was like, I wanted to listen to your very first shit, and I kind of wanted it to be shit. Because it was a compliment he paid me, saying your shit's so tight. I wondered if there was a time where you couldn't rap. And I was like, sorry mate, I can't do it for you. Because like for me it was lucky my dad had musical equipment in the house and always encouraged me. So I didn't come out the room until I had a skill set at least that was able, that people could detect there was a talent there. So I was lucky I didn't have YouTube tempting me to upload shit of me like being garbage. Okay. Which is no a luxury a lot of rappers have now. You spoke about Big Div educating you on that song Rebirth on that album. You sort of name check a few people, including myself, right? But listening to that album the other day, because that's what I do, I have to dig it out now and again. There's a line on it which I think is pretty prophetic to where you're just now, right? And the line was, I'm on a gyro, soon to be a millionaire because of my biro. You remember that line? Aye, and I remember that as well. Like, it's a bold line. Aye, I think like actually that was a beat that I done on in the Trilect project where I first met. Well, I had met Mog before then, but it was like me, DC, Mog, Baltic, Export, Emma Gillespie, Downhammer, Big Taj. I'm sorry if I forgot anybody else that was on it. Anyway, so it was like a project that Cess done. So it was basically Div passed me through to Cess. And that was how I started linking up with them, and like that was the first time. And actually, like that's a pure Britcore sound, almost that. Yeah. And actually, like, but a lot of that, Cess helped me a lot with like putting the beat together. But a lot of it, I chose like this is how I wanted it to sound. I didn't know that. So it was like same with like Littlest Hobo and the next album. And just like I'm like that with a lot of my stuff, kind of hands on. Although I need somebody with the technical expertise to infuse their thing into it. So Rebirth, I was like a kind of, I was like, once I realised what Div was teaching me about the fact that there was already this history there, it was dead nice. Because then I was like, wow, I'm going to have a chapter in this story. And like it seemed important to me at the time. And I think it's because I come from a scheme, so I know it's important to show respect to your elders, you know. And if it's reciprocated, then especially so. And so it was my way of saying like, look man, I know I'm mouthy and I know I'm challenging in a lot of ways. I just want to let the big cunts know that like I understand their place in this. Do you know? You recognise the lineage within Scottish hip hop. But for me that line was like, oh, Darren obviously knows the powerfulness of his pen, even back then. I mean, I didn't really. It was just obviously I was always just like there was a sort of confidence at the core of me where I had been nurtured enough, despite the difficulties that are often talked about now. You know, people encouraged me. And I wasn't scared to take opportunities. And like, no, I used to say, I wasn't expecting Div to pay me taxes every time I went through. But I was living with my granny and no, they couldn't afford all that shit. I would be cycling through to Paisley on a Saturday night. You'd see fucking parks on fire and all that going through Figure. You know what it's like walking through, going to get the rolls in the morning with Div and cunts just throwing bricks at us and shit like junkies, do you know what I mean? Who just take you as a threat and they're just trying to test the water. And it was just like it was this need to feed my fucking appetite for hip hop. That just you see past the barriers, whereas somebody else might be like, I'm not going there, and then actually like a whole period of their life doesn't occur because they don't take the opportunity.
And even though you're in a different circle these days, you still seem to have that same appetite for making hip hop.
Aye, absolutely. Like that for me, everything. Anywhere I go, people call me Loki. So that's a reminder. I know that I need a reminder, but everything that's happening for me now all comes back to hip hop, because the whole foundation of why I was able to kind of even the odds when it comes to getting media exposure and all these things that help was because I've got a following who's really supportive, and actually on social media that tips the scales. See people at the List magazine and all that want to sit in a wee room and make decisions about what's relevant.
Okay.
Like when you've got a following like I've got, then actually like it's not going to be too long until more people are following what I'm doing and what are following the List, you know. So it's just it's like that's the power of social media, and I was lucky because when social media became available to me, it was just when I was getting sober. I couldn't go and do gigs, I couldn't go and play. I was watching Stanley Odd and Hector Berserk, and I was like, is this what everybody needs to do now? And I tried that and it just didn't fit, and I was like, I can't get out there and play. And also as well, man, like when I was drinking, man, I didn't realise my music had got worse. You know what I mean? Like I had like my ego had just sort of insulated me for the reality of stuff. So my music wasn't as good as I thought it was. So there was a whole period of me having to genuinely rebuild my confidence, my skill set, find out what I wanted to do. And then actually, like, once I got that, then I realised I love rap and hip hop more than ever. I mean, I fucking ripped it at Knocking Gorrick. I couldn't believe it. It was all these new tunes I've not played for anybody.
That's dope.
And I was just like, I can't believe I'm making a connection. Most of the audience didn't really know me for my music. And so...
Okay, that's quite weird though,
Well, it was just like Knocking Gorrick's a mixed bag festival. It's mostly a family thing, but I got to get a shot on the very famous Mungo's Hi-Fi PA system. And all these new tunes I've got, you know, it's like, it's a mere kind of like, it's a trap vibe, it's bassy, the rhymes are aggressive, and it's just very direct.
We'll play some of the new tunes later on.
Aye, cool. So it was just, like, I remember a moment during the set, just stopping and going like, I fucking love rapping. Because I was just buzzing,
that's awesome,
I was just blacking out,
that's
you know?
That's good shit, man, that's good shit. Were you always aware of the following and the support you had for like the Scottish hip hop heads? Because they seem to get behind you day one, recognising that you are a voice for us. Aye, absolutely. And I think as I grew up and matured a bit, because I was a bit defensive in the early days, a lot of the gigs I used to do, like I was coming into gigs, I didn't know a lot of people. It took me a while to find my crew and all that. No, that's how much I wanted to do this shit. I would turn up at places myself with my woman at the time for Pollok, you know, and I'd be full of codeine and I'd be full of bucky, and I didn't really know how these things were changing my behaviour. So like it wasn't until I saw footage of myself high on pills, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm talking some amount of shit. And like that was one of the kind of wake up moments where it was like, these things are changing your personality. But then the more I took them, the more I was out, the more that was the only personality I was able to show. So I had this group of close knit mates who really knew who I really was, and then everybody else outside of that I engaged with just thought I was an arsehole, because I was an arsehole. And so when you're going out and people are expecting you to be a dick, you're defensive, they're defensive, and the vibes are always just bad. And like I've enjoyed these last few years because there's a lot of people I've managed to kind of build new relationships with, and I think there's a common respect there. And just going on that journey, I like, really it was all fear for me. I was anxious, I wanted people to like me, I was insecure. And really I was just using different things to try and deal with it, you know what I mean? And I think like it's good to be able to reflect back on that now, because I see it's a journey people are just going on now. I'm going to play another wee bit of music right now, but we've got plenty to talk about, so I'm going to keep the music to the minimum tonight. But we have got some brand new Loki from the new EP. Tell us a wee bit about that.
EP, basically it's 6 tracks that I've kind of chopped off the Loki Returns album. Usually I would just release things like that unmixed, but I thought, actually, do you know what, like there's no rush, so let's just like cut these tracks properly. And so it's called Send For That. So on the June 15th or 16th, it'll be available on all the streaming sites. And really, like, it's me just kind of stepping into a new sound. Like, I like what everybody's doing now. I'm inspired by the younger guys a lot, and I tell them that if I see them or interact with them. and then at the same time I know I've got a place in this of a kind of elder statesman vibe now.
Yep.
And so like really what I want to do is I want to show the younger guys I respect what you're doing so much that actually like I'm gonna move in that direction for this, because I want to have I want to compete. Like,
I think that's basically.
I want to compete.
I think basically that's what it is. You're saying it's for the benefit of young people, but no, you want to blow cunts away here.
I want to show them respect the way that you do in hip hop, which is competing. So it's like me on a trap beat with everything that I've got behind me, my whole history could sound quite epic. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not just a brag where you're like, I wonder if he really means that. There's a whole hang at your back that's evidence of who you are and what you're for. And so it's like, in that sense, like I've still got other things I'm working on, more conceptual shit, but I just need to let off some steam, Steg. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get
my
it.
life's getting too serious.
I'm going to play some of the tracks later, but right now, Edging God Out, one of my favourite tracks. That was for the Ego album with the same name. Tell us a bit about that project.
That was my first album really that I got into sober. So what you'll hear on that album is kind of me refreshed, trying out different flows and sounds. The album's a bit too long, I could have maybe cut a couple of tracks off it, but I thought like that was really like what I was trying to do with that album was just like keep people who had been following me on side to say, no look man, like I've still got it. Still got it, and because I know, like, unless people who were drinking and taking as much Valium as I was, they would have probably been thinking these albums are getting really insular and dark and sloppy with the MCing, and this was like on point, you know. So it was
This was definitely on point. One of my favourite Loki tracks. This is Edging God Out.
Sorry pal, you've done what? Look enough, talk to me. Scottish hip hop's a puddle at a bus stop. Don't be asking for repentance for the fact I ripped Scottish rap out the 90s with a vengeance. Lyrics pal, no ish, I'm about it, and rap's the only thing I've left in a better state than I found it. Mate, your verse is still weak regardless of how loud you shout it. Like we're on the same level, I doubt it. I'm a true MC, you got a crowd at your back because they filled the space I created, pushing boundaries back. All I need is your respect, it's not as if I'm sitting asking to be native, but some snuff took a lot from what I brought and then just act like I never existed, like everybody doesn't know it's who you borrowed from. Pay homage or I'll take you to college, hot shot, otherwise you're just a biter and whatnot. Call them all out, tear them all down, swearing I'm in Roston town, edging God out. Edgy God out, little by little I gave my life to this, but kids are so fickle, time to stick 'em. Call them all out, tear them all down, swearing I'm in Roston town. Edgy God out, little by little I gave my life to this, but kids are so fickle, time to stick 'em. You've become freshmen or druids, ticket selling to students. I've got mental endurance, you've got dental insurance. Stop acting like you came up with your act on your own. In 06 my album's probably got you smacked at your home. Some fans develop egos of their own. One day I wake up and I'm competing with my clone. You don't want to battle me, Holmes. You got a hard enough time just answering phones. I'm in the zone, mad Loki eyes dead weak. Mate, I've been wrecking MCs since conscious had red cheeks. Remember me, the guy you used to wanna imitate and mimic. Just listening to me would help initiate your lyrics. And it has to think it when I'm not looking. That these fans of mine would go and try and put their boot in, forgetting that I cleared the path for them to try achieve their dreams. But you forgot about that, or that's the way it seems. Call them all out, tear them all down, swearing I'm in Roston town. Edging God out, edging God out. Little by little I gave my life to this, but kids are so fickle, time to stick 'em. Call them all out, tear them all down, swearing I'm in Roston town. Edging God out, edgy God out, little by little I gave my life to this, but kids are so fickle, time to stick 'em. I'm resentful at times, the way you peddle your rhymes, the headlights of your justice, your enviable shine. Thinking where did things go so wrong with us? I think your head got as big as mine and that's all it was. See, I'm never done bigging up the artists that preceded me. I'm truly humbled by these other real MCs. Why the fuck does it even matter so much to me? Drunk or sober, I guess I don't have enough esteem. Highly hypocritical and morally pedantic. Now I'm sober, I feel like my friends' lives are too dramatic. Me drunk was still me, just an animal version. And I'm sick of him trying to pass as a rational person. These are just some honest thoughts and feelings, whether right or wrong. I hope to inspire you to knuckle down and write your song. Now I feel as if I'm outcast mostly, so tell me when did Scottish rap forget about Loki? Call them all out, tear them all down. Swearing I'm in Royston town, edging God out, edging God out. Little by little I gave my life to this, my kids are so fickle, time to stick 'em. Call them all out, tear them all down. Swearing I'm in Royston town, edging God out, edging God out. Little by little I gave my life to this, my kids are so fickle, time to stick 'em. Call them all out.
Who made the beat on that, Dom?
That was my old partner in crime, Sound Thief, that did that actually.
Big shout to your namesake as well.
He is Sound Thief, and Darren. I used to live with him. So like we made that album when I had just started to get sober, and actually he was just like, I wouldn't have managed it without him. No, the album, getting sober. Like I remember the day I decided I had to stop. I'd already bought wine. I think it was just after New Year. I was going to stop before Christmas, and then we had a breakup and all that, and I was like, fuck, I'll do it later. And things just got so mad. I was actually mad. Like I remember people coming into my house and them like going into other rooms and all that, and just being like, he's losing it. Do you know what I mean? And when I got sober, obviously like you've got to go through a kind of like a bit of a rattle, you know, because your alcohol's coming out your system, you're not using it, and I'd been pretty much just drinking straight for weeks, so I was just like sweating a lot, fevers, and Darren, he would just come into the room and check on me. He wouldn't sit down and have a big talk. He just knew what I was trying to do. He would bring me food. Like I remember him and he would make me food that would help me. You know what I mean? Like spicy food to sweat shit out and all that. And I remember after a few days, just like getting through it. You know what I mean? And feeling sober for the first time in ages. But just like I love him so much, you know what I mean? And he was like, it was funny because he didn't drink, you know. I think actually I don't know exactly his relationship, or I wouldn't go into it personally, but he just made the decision one day he wasn't going to drink. So actually, funnily enough, it ended up being he was the only person as well who didn't drink or get high or something. So it was like suddenly I found myself in a really good position where I'm living with somebody who's a sound engineer, and I'm getting sober and I've got nothing to do. And like he became like my best pal, my brother, and he was also fucking hooking me up with some amazing beats, you know, and just like helping me find what it was I was trying to say. So like, I mean, he's a really good producer, and he makes a lot of stuff that's always just in its kind of like development stage. And really the trick with his beats is picking one where you can see where it can go, because the thing you choose often is just a loop. So if you're attracted to it, then he'll take it and then he'll put the spin on it. That's how you end up with Michael Keaton. That just started off with it.
Is that from that album as well? Ego? That's another big tune, man. Dope tune.
And then like then I remember like I recorded the vocals just there, the sample, and then when he brought it through to the room one day, we'd bring things through and let me hear them, and I was just like, mate, fucking hell, man. And then I went back over the lyrics again, and like, no, but he's just you can hear it in everything that he does, and he's got real kind of, he's one of the heads that's got real strict principles about music,
hasn't he?
And it's like everybody's entitled to take their own view, but I respect people that have got their view and they live by it, whatever it is, even if I don't agree. And he's all about just, he's not into, like, he doesn't care who the best is, he's not into that. I'm into that shit, like, I'm into that shit gets me up in the morning. He's no, but it's like, you can respect where everybody's coming from on it. And he will give you the ammunition you need to go and do a kind of rap that maybe he's not personally feeling, you know.
Okay, it looks like he's came into your life at the perfect time there.
Aye.
And did you start to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel in terms of getting through the alcohol and getting into your music and stuff like that?
Aye. I mean, also that was the beginning of the sort of Yes movement and all that. So it gave me something to get my teeth into, and that was a whole other experience. But and that's where I actually started finding an audience for my articles I was writing about class and community life and all that sort of stuff. Because the great thing was then, like, you could just publish stuff online. You didn't need to talk to an editor. You didn't need to get the okay for anybody. And actually, like, that's when I was starting to realise how profound social media was. Although at the time I didn't know all the trouble that comes with it nowadays. So like, I've refined it again. At first, all you see is the megaphone. You don't see the public square that you're barking into. And so, like, you learn gradually. Some people don't. Do you know what I mean? There's blogs out there that don't give a shit about how people are taking it, and you can think of that what you want. I don't want to cause unnecessary confusion, unnecessary offence. If I'm causing offence just because like I've got something to say that might offend people, fine.
That's in their court though, isn't it?
Aye,
though?
but I'll take more time to say what I'm going to say and try to create the most clarity possible, because really what I want when I'm writing in that style is dialogue. Hip-hop's different. That's where I go to be more irrational, to show a bit, to express my ego, to express conflict, because all these things are part of me and I can't deny it. So hip-hop offers me an outlet. I think hip-hop's good because it creates a space for conflict as well. The idea of battles, the idea of like that, you know, two people can come together and face off, and it doesn't necessarily need to end up in a scrap or whatever, you know. And I've always liked that about hip hop.
What do you think in this though? Hip hop's quite divided. Like there'll be a beatbox event, and nobody that would go to a Scottish rap event will be there. There'll be a b-boy event and a graffiti event. So I think we need to sort of try and bring all that together.
Aye,
You know what I mean?
definitely, and like that's not always been the case.
It's not always been the case.
But it's
That's right.
just people find their own lanes, and then there's a kind of commercial commodification aspect to hip hop, even at local level. I mean, if you look at Yardworks, right, big graffiti event, amazing. Like getting international artists on the same platform as all the legends that we all know and love that have pretty much fucking designed this whole city.
Yep.
And in a certain sense, that's part of progression. But at the same time, if you want to go and film a cypher there, you need to get permission for somebody. The answer's no. And that's not anything to do with the artists. That's to do with SWG3 maybe having to rethink what their role is in the community. Because obviously that's a great venue, and I think like a lot of people, and I know you've been in there as well, and there are access points, and I know that if you go through the proper channels, you probably could get to film a cypher in there. But at the same time, like it's funny when you're standing next to graffiti, and you know you can't point a camera at it. You've got to go down the street and film in front of the brick wall. Yeah. So I think, like, for me personally, in the position that I'm getting...
Did that happen at the ciphers the other day?
Aye,
Is that what happened?
And it's no disrespect to them. It's just sometimes, like, you've got to choose your moments when to make people aware of that stuff and try and get a dialogue. So I wouldn't diss them or call them whatever, you know what I mean? They've got a company, they've got their own objectives, and they want to make sure that the rights to the artist's work is protected. Okay. So they want to make sure something's not going on.
I get it to a certain extent.
Aye.
I get it.
So it's like finding the happy medium, where it's accessible to people who are not necessarily spending hundreds of money at the bar, while also they maintain their integrity as a business and keeping that quality control there. Because it could have been a bunch of people that can't rap coming doing it, letting the side down. Actually, it was a very high quality cypher, Joe. Everybody brought their A game, and I had to boost because I was on dad duty, but I had already heard the rhymes before because we did a wee dry run of it. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Fucking hell, man! This shit is like tight."
Shit, aye. You found a lot of voice, your voice at a referendum, and you were quite controversial to some people too. Some of the music you made was pretty cool. Some of it was a bit shocking to some people. You made a song called Tommy Sheridan is Dead. Yeah. Yep. One of my favourite Loki tracks.
Really, aye, nice.
It is, aye. It's quite a futuristic sounding beat.
Yeah.
It's got the dystopia and the lyrics about Glasgow. Was it 2025? Was it
2025? Aye. Okay. I mean, still to this day, probably that's the record. Like, I use it. Tommy Sheridan's Dead. I mean, for anybody that doesn't know,
people don't get this metaphor anymore, folks. I don't think.
Exactly. So really, I was making a kind of comment about the Socialist Movement, which gave a lot of people hope in the sort of 90s. It started in Pollok. Well, it didn't. The whole Socialist Movement didn't start in Pollok, but like a lot of the activism that was going on in Pollok, whether it was the Pollok Free State, trying to stop the motorway getting built, or people occupying community centres. The people that were running the activism, they were also running the community, so they were putting on football tournaments, they were putting on gigs. People were finding our local culture. You know, like the other day that you see the thing on Glasgow Live, and George Bowie's acting like he's the first person to play a local artist, and it's like, oh, groundbreaking shit. And it's like, mate, you're so fucking late to the party. But if you're not on their radar, then you don't exist. Whereas this movement in Pollok understood all that, so it was like, we need to get a PA in, we need to put local events, because politics is not just about what's right and wrong and what your opinion is. It's about people feeling connected, community. Like, that's what rises your spirits, not just for to fight, but for your quality of life. And so they days were like, it was a pure golden age in community. And when that all collapsed, when the whole stuff about Tommy came out in the news and the social movement began to kind of collapse, it was really, really upsetting for everybody. So what I wanted to do was kind of tell a story that was set in the future about the day that he dies as an old man, and portray a sort of dystopia that was trying to foresee what, obviously exaggerated, but just trying to paint a picture of what Britain might look like in the future, you know, and if we didn't vote yes, what we could be a part of. I mean, it's quite frightening, some of the things that have actually happened since the song came out. But I know it was controversial, I know some people didn't like it, but I was just following my artistic instinct. And sometimes I can look back on stuff and go like, you know, like, I know why I did that, I know why I tried to do that, I was coming from an honest place, but I wouldn't go there now. And I can see that with some of my other catalogue and things like that. But you've got to follow your impulse, because see, if you do what other people suggest you do and you get it wrong or you get it right, you don't really know why. You know, you don't know here. And that's where the real self-knowledge comes in, for making mistakes, for overstepping it, for pushing lines. And then obviously it was also a kind of prelude to the GIMP album. I was trying to sell this world that I was creating with the GIMP album, which was my attempt to tell a story in an album the way that you would in a book, thinking about characters, scene, every song's, every verse is a scene driving a story forward, and some that plays just as tunes, but for people that want to really dig into it, there's an intricacy to it that you can enjoy.
I remember working with you quite a lot at this time, and you were doing your album. It seemed, for maybe an outsider, that your focus on your music was keeping you on the straight path.
Aye.
You had the vision, and that vision, until that was determined, then that was all you were going to do. Aye,
exactly. And you know, I can sometimes that could be kind of detrimental to some of the things in my life. Although I'm lucky, because Becky's quite similar. So like in that way, we kind of cancel each other out in that way. Like I understand, she understands. Like I understand, if you've got a creative impulse, you need to do it. So if she's got to go up, I mean, she had a gig in the other day, and she was getting ready for it. Because we've got kids, the only time for her to really prepare for anything is at night. So like, I'm just half question time, I'm exhausted, I go upstairs to sleep, I'm trying not to wake the Wayne up, and I know that she's doing the stair, and she's got the drum out, she's got her wee system out, she's got her loop pedal out, she's practicing these tunes, and one half of me's like, I'm knackered, and the other half of me's like, fucking hardcore, man, that's hardcore. That's how much you love music. She's doing there doing that, so what a dick would I be to actually try and stop her doing it? But that's that same drive you're talking about with me, so we just understand each other, and that's how actually you get the freedom to do this stuff.
Let's hear the track.
Bottom of all our terrified souls, we know that democracy is a dying giant, a sick, dying, decaying political concept writhing in its final pain.
So now you're all good socialists, oh? Well, where were you when the Scottish pros voted no? And surprise, 20 years of mere Tories at the referendum, then you bought the wrong scare stories. Back then I was right to think you feeble, now the kingdom is united and they chip and pin people. They told us that we would be better together, then they left the EU, but whatever, never say never. Now you're nothing but depressing in your lethargy. The economic boom became permanent austerity. Frankie Boyle left and went to live in Germany. Ashamed to be Scottish, anyone with money emigrates to a country where they're welcome and embraced. You only get in Britain if you work for a shitty wage. The streets are overrun with alcoholics smelling funky on the telly. Millionaires will tell you how to spend your money. Russell Brand relapsed and had an overdose. The media portrayed him as a mannequin socialist mole. The guy snapped because they were trying to discredit him. The public then fell for it. Kill yourself, they're telling him. It was depressing him, the fact that no one came to see the revolution. Too distracted by celebrities like him. The working man's hands tied, no southpaw. Work till you die, now retirement is outlawed.
Writhing in its final pain.
In these times we could do with a true voice. If I could go back to a day where we had a choice to let fear in our hearts in the cold air. But these days folk have never been more scared. They couldn't see through the mask of the oppressor, too distracted by the court jester, more or lesser. Now there's nothing on the other side of the sea, and we finally forgot what it really means to be free. As I stand by the coffin of a fallen hero, mixed feelings and I wish I had the chance to meet him. I would tell him we'd forgive him to his face if he only bit the bullet and admitted his mistakes. In these times we could do with a true voice. If I could go back to a day where we had a choice, it doesn't matter what I tell him in the end, cause it's too late now, Tommy Sheridan is dead. Madeleine McCann turns up at 18 and gets a whole new treatment on page 3. Disowns her own parents, signed a record deal and goes from being dead to selling sex on TV. The American economy implodes, China calls in the loans, the world walks in loads. Scotland could have been the land of sonnets and odes. They launch the first strike for the Clyde, on it goes. Universities are businesses to list to training folk to manage all the broken systems that exist. The age of information doesn't need to be controlled, cause the population don't look when they cross the road. Right now we could really fucking use you, Tommy. I wrote a song and sent it back in time to try and warn you. I hope that people from the past get to hear my lyrics, but for the present I'm really proud of being British.
Tommy Sheridan is dead.
Yeah.
2025.
Aye.
Yeah, how old is he then?
And in the context of the story, that triggers an uprising in the sort of dystopia. You know, so in the sequence of the album, that triggers off a riot, which then obviously kind of like pushes the story forward. So it functions on a lot of different levels, because there's subplots in the album. See the stuff about Madeleine McCann, like, I know that stuff is heavy, even now it would still be difficult. But see if you look at something like Black Mirror now, like Black Mirror wasn't out then, but it takes your worst nightmares, your worst fears. That is something that I find difficult to watch. That's how visceral it is. And as much as I find that stuff difficult to watch, my instincts to create stuff like that.
Okay.
And so really what I was trying to make with the point with that was that, and the sub was the way that the media, the way that media, and I don't mean it as if media is just one big mind with a conspiracy theory, but just some of the unfortunate byproducts of media are that it's basically what people are drawn to that makes news. So newspapers are configured in a way that people who buy them, the editors, are thinking, what do they want to see? But our impulses are irrational. So a lot of the papers are irrational for that reason. Okay. And really what I was trying to say was, you know, in a scenario, if a legal asset that had went missing was presumed dead, did emerge years later and became a celebrity, there's a high chance that they would be sexualised in some way.
Yep.
And so I was trying to kind of draw a contrast between something really dark and then something really shocking. And I know some people didn't get it, but it's just like, I felt like it was quite bold at the time for me.
I think it created a discussion, and I think good art should.
Aye. And then in the story of the album, then the protagonist of the album's a journalist. So the journalist wakes up in the hangover, he's all covered in blood, he's murdered, it looks like he's murdered somebody, he goes and dumps the body, and then he's got to go into his work as a journalist, and his editor's like, I've got a job for you, this lassie that's been missing's appeared again, I want you to go and interview her. And it's all about him just like feeling suicidal. And a lot in the story, journalists are killing themselves. They're all turning up dead. And so it's like, it's you know, it's no, I'm not saying it for shock value. It's part of a story that's meant to be kind of futuristic and also kind of hyper real in the sense that you really feel it. Okay.
I've got a few questions from people right now, but I'm going to get into them in a bit. But you've wrote a book.
Yeah.
You wrote a book, man. That's a phenomenal thing.
Aye, man.
How did that actually happen? Damn, did you just wake up one day like, I'm going to write a book?
No, it was basically people saying that I should and me getting used to the idea that I could do it. So the first line in the book is, people like me don't write books. And it's all about, it's all just about, you know, literature and being intellectual and all that just didn't seem to something that would apply to me because of where I come from.
Yep.
So then I had to sort of work up the confidence to do it, and then
see, this is a bit that blows my mind, damn right. The bit. Now I know you're a writer. Your pen game's phenomenal. I've always known that since I fucking heard your music, right? But see the fact you decided not only to write a book, but to crowdfund it. Not to crowdfund the book, but to crowdfund you to get time to write the book.
Aye.
People with your background don't even think like that normally. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I had a meeting where the first publisher was up for it, and then he just dinged it, right? Funnily enough, that publisher then went into liquidation the week the book actually came out. So I dodged a bullet and they missed the boat. I feel bad for the writers that haven't been paid their royalties, but in another sense, I'm like that. Thank fuck for that. So when I went and met the other publisher, Lewis, then they got the idea straight away. I signed the contract that day, but no advance came with it, and they were suggesting these are different kind of bursaries and grants that you could go for to do it. And straight away I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't want somebody that doesn't know anything about me telling me what I need to write a book about. I don't want any conditions. I don't want to have to jump through hoops for anybody. So if I have to do this with no money, I'll do it, but let me try and crowdfund it. Then I crowdfunded it. And obviously, like, I think I made the target within about 2.5 weeks, and we got I got a £5,000 donation from J.K. Rowling.
How quickly did that start to take legs, the crowdfund? Was it straight away, or was there a time when you were sitting thinking, fuck?
Well, one of the reasons, well, first of all, you've got to have a lot of balls to do it.
That's the thing I'm saying.
You've got to have a lot of balls to do it, because really, like, what happens with the crowdfund sends a signal to everybody that's watching about whether there's actually a demand for it, and whether you're the sort of person that can command that kind of support. And obviously, even internally, you're like you feel vulnerable. So when I worked really hard to promote it, and also I picked my time to do it, I understood that by that time I understood social media well enough to see the sort of circles that I was in digitally, who was watching, where I was publishing stuff. And basically, like, it was a combination of me being intuitive, being prepared to take the risk, and then other people's generosity, and that gave me a wee bit of breathing space, because we just had Daniel, we were moving house, it was a big gamble, but I figured, actually, he's that young, I need to do this now, if I'm going to do it at all.
How much did J.K. Rowling donate?
She donated $5,000.
Okay.
And then the other $7,000 came from people either buying an advanced copy of the book or just donating. But the donations range from £5 to £10 to £500, and then that money basically just sort of gave me a financial buffer for a year.
So you were just sitting in the house one day, and then you got a wee notification, J.K. Rowling, $5,000. That must have been a bit one of the moments in your life you think, oh wait a minute here.
I found out through Wings Over Scotland.
Okay, your friends?
Aye, I found out through Wings Over Scotland. So basically what happened was I woke up, I looked at the crowdfund as you would every morning, and I seen there's a wee bar on it, a wee gauge to show you how much is in it. And I was like, I thought it was like seeing things. So then but then I actually just jumped on Twitter after that, as you do instinctively, and then suddenly I just realised I'm getting loads of snidey comments and abuse.
Was Wings Over Scotland giving you
so
abuse back then?
He basically
like they're doing last week.
He basically helped to create an impression that by me taking that money, that I was influencing my politics.
Yeah.
I've never had a conversation with J.K. Rowling about my politics, and any dealings I've had with anybody, kind of high level people that deal with me, whatever way they voted in the referendum, it's never ever, unless we're just talking about politics, but it's never like, nobody's ever tried to pressure me to change. Like, anybody who knows me knows that would be a totally fucking the wrong move to make. Somebody could give me $10,000, like somebody could give me $50,000. Like, I was just on Question Time last week making a better argument for SNP policies than the other people on the panel, and that was a billionaire and an SNP politician. So like that's something I've had to kind of battle with, is a perception and section of the Yes movement who won't look at the book because they see J.K. Rowling's name on it, and they think it's going to be some anti-SNP shit. But I've decided really to kind of fight that. I've decided that people are going to see what I'm about when I become more visible, and I've chose my moment to become more visible. And in that moment, the most high visibility that I've seen, what was I was pro-yes. What was I was social justice, because that's who I am. If I want to criticise the Yes movement, then that's my right as part of it.
Yep, well that's people's jobs actually, as people who have got responsibility in the community.
Aye.
You know what I mean, to challenge and criticise where needed. And also I think rappers too.
Aye.
should look at what's going on around them and say that's no fucking right.
Exactly,
You know
and
what I mean?
I kind of like, I respect things like Wings Over Scotland in the sense that it disrupts the usual flow of information. It engages people to think critically about the information they get through mainstream media, but then at the same time, the whole approach, the whole emotional attitude that his work seems to take as well, I think actually it undermines it. Like,
Okay.
we're moving into a new phase of the constitutional debate, but we need to learn to be civil with each other a wee bit, because
Okay.
we've still got a country to live in together, whatever happens. And I think, you know, it's sneak. I'm not trying to draw fire for his supporters. I respect people that donate to something and put their money to support something they think serving them, and so it's nothing personal. But at the same time, like there's, if you're trying to persuade somebody to rethink something and you're beginning with you're a mad yoon, you're a cunt, you're an idiot, then actually all you're doing is playing to your own gallery. And this is about more than just what's the right and wrong. People need to feel emotionally comfortable to even become susceptible to taking on new ideas. I mean, see when you're being stressed out by somebody calling you names and criticising you, like, the physiology of that's impossible. You can't actually, long-term, short-term memories affected. You just go into defensive mode, so you physically, mentally can't receive new ideas. So you need to be respectful. And I found that a lot of people who voted no for the same reasons I voted yes. And I don't need to look at this like football teams. And ultimately, like, if I want to talk to people or associate with people, or people are generous to me for the other side of this debate, all that shows is I've got an ability to transcend a division, which means I'm very useful to the yes movement, because I've not burnt all the bridges like a lot of people. But I'm hoping that people begin to see that they need to question even just the perceptions that are created by some of these blogs.
Okay.
Because people have been messaging me all week like, I got you a rang, I thought you were this, I thought you were that, and I was just like, thank you, and I'm sorry if I ever gave you any shite.
It's a powerful thing, social media.
I wonder where this perception came from, you know. I know I've been a dick. In the early days of social media, when I was being critical of the yes movement, I think I took a kind of sneering, sarcastic tone that I look back and I see the root of the perception, because I didn't understand how many people were reading it. I really didn't.
Okay.
But that's something I've modified as I've matured.
Do you realise now that you may have been damaging to the movement, and that's why people were a bit upset at you?
I can see why they thought I was being damaging, but see a lot of the discussion that goes on now about the yes movement, like I was talking about that in 2014. So see now everybody's like, we need to have an argument about this sort of direction to independence, and this growth report's been published, and there's all different opinions out there. Like, see when I wrote publicly I'm no voting SNP, like, and then couple of years later at the election, a lot of people stopped voting SNP. So like, I done that not because I don't want independence, but because I was wanting to use whatever power I had to send a signal to the SNP.
That's what
I
it's
don't
for.
like this
That's what
position
votes
that
is
you're
for.
taking. No, if a referendum happens, obviously I'm voting yes.
Yep.
But like, until that moment, then I'm always using whatever leverage I can as a citizen to say, this is what I think, this is what I want. And if my vote's the only way I can let you know that I'm not happy,
Then you're going to use it.
Exactly. That's what democracy's about.
So you wrote the book. Did you know at the time how massive it was going to be for you and for Scottish culture?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, you would never in your wildest dreams, even at my most arrogant, would ever have assumed that it would have got to the stage that it's at. And it's only going to get bigger because, like, the book's getting republished by a big London publisher.
How many have you put out there? Do you know?
I think, like, after question time, I think, like, just for a small independent publisher, I think we're somewhere up at like 25,000 books.
Wow.
And that's a small that's a small thing, and a lot of them I've sold because I bought a lot after a publisher and had to pure hustle all around this country. Because like a small publisher hasn't got the muscle to really promote you, you know. And so I recognise that, and I thought, I'm going to need to get out there and sell this myself. And obviously now as it's began to take off, I don't have to do as much of that labour. I can focus on the creative aspect of it. But then if it's getting published by a big London publisher in August, the same month as my Fringe show, then there's the potential there for me to create a level of buzz that can take this to another level.
And you're nominated for, was it the Orwell Prize?
Orwell Prize, aye, that's just mental, mate. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, that's bizarre.
Crazy, man.
That's bizarre. It's funny because Wings Over Scotland, I remember him joking that he bet a fiver the book wouldn't see the light of day. And he's a big Orwell fan, which is quite ironic in a lot of ways. So, like, that, I had to get that screenshotted. No, my photographer, my mate does a lot of pictures for me, and I'll see a lot of the images that you see of me on posters and that.
Uh-huh.
It's a guy called Stephen Reynolds from
Okay.
Edinburgh.
Okay.
A guy I've known for a good few years, a good friend, and also like he's dead savvy with just social media and all that stuff. So like see for something that I know I've said years ago that I can't find, or somebody else has said I can't find, he'll be able to find it like that.
That's
So
what you
just
need. That's
like
what you need.
I've
Yep.
got a lot of people like that. They're dead helpful. No, like they'll screenshot things. They'll keep me in the loop about things they think I need to know. And sometimes I don't need to know if it's somebody talking shit
Okay,
about me,
okay.
right? But then at the same time, people are that supportive. They're just like they're that supportive. They'll defend me. And even if they think I'm wrong, they'll defend me, and then they'll tell me they think I'm wrong privately, like you
Okay.
do with your mates.
Yep,
You know
yep,
what I mean?
yep.
So it's dead nice.
You must take a lot of strength from the support from the people.
I mean, I like to try my best to be supportive of other folk as well. So but I know how, it's sometimes you need that. It means that I can take a position with confidence that even if I might get a bit of hassle or static for the long grass, the people in the foreground of my life, whether it's on social media or yourselves, you know, who understand a wee bit more where I'm coming from, then it's just, I feel kind of like not insulated, like it's just a big war on me and I don't know what other people think. But it's nice, especially when you're stepping into a new arena. Like pretty much a lot of the rooms that I go into the new, I'm dealing with people who have got a lot more money than me, who are a lot more professionally successful than me, on paper are a lot more intelligent than me. Now, like
On paper.
aye, exactly. But like my life is high pressure.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And then I'm coming home to a family dynamic and that and all the beauties and challenges of that. So
Do you feel the pressure that we put on you? Because obviously we look at you as our representative now.
Aye.
Do you feel that burden?
actually, that's the sort of thing I think that comes more natural to me.
Okay.
Because I know that as much as sometimes I might need to modify a wee bit of how I'm talking or what I'm saying, especially see if I'm trying to be persuasive.
Mhm.
So say I'm talking to a conservative, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's at an event or whether it's online. And I'm thinking, right, I understand the conservative mindset. So I understand their kind of moral matrix, right? What I mean by that is what's important to them.
Yep.
So I'm looking at that non-judgmentally because I'm trying to like persuade them that they might need to rethink something like child poverty, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm engaging with them and I'm trying to be persuasive for the benefit of a social justice movement or a community,
Yep.
for some people in that community that signals to them that I'm in cahoots or that I've betrayed or that I'm doing something wrong. But actually, it's a numbers game, and if you want to have real change out with revolution, which I'm no for, to be honest, because it'd be too dangerous. There might be some cool activists out there, but there's a lot of cunts with claw hammers sitting in the house, I know, that'd be quite happy to be like, oh, revolution, well, I think we need a wee bit of this
Pollok, man.
this
Yep.
kind of anarchy.
Yep.
So like I find that if you want to get something, if you want to have change that's politically viable in the realm of like poverty, for example, then you have to persuade people to look at it again, which means you need to be prepared to be persuaded if it's a genuine interaction you're having. And then what you come to understand is that a lot of people's positions in politics, just like a lot of things, sometimes they're actually kind of directed by the way they've been treated by people on the other side of the debate. And that kind of directs their politics. I mean, look at people like Jordan Peterson, the new, and he's a big deal and everybody's tuning into him and all that. And
I don't know who that is, Darren.
right, well, he's got
Who is
some
that?
interesting things to say. He's an academic that caused a lot of storm on the internet because
Okay.
he refused to use gender pronouns, right? So like
Just
he's-
controversy.
he's known as controversial, right? Now there's some things that he says that are interesting and he talks well. For me, somebody who talks well, it's like listening to a good musician. Somebody's putting words together in a good way, I'm already tuning in, regardless if I agree or not. But then at the same time, a lot of his stuff you can tell he's heavy jaded because of all the criticism he's got, and sometimes that directs how he makes his arguments. So sometimes he can be pure chilled, and then even if you don't agree with him, you're like, I can follow your line of thinking. Then other times he's just being snidey, and so we all do that. We all get affected by how we're treated, and emotionally sometimes that directs our politics, you know what I mean? So I think like a lot of the debate around poverty and a lot of the debate around these issues that are important, that's a dynamic, especially on social media, where sometimes people and I include myself in this, are they aware of what their motivations are? Sometimes it's about settling a score or being right, rather than actually talking it out. And I want to be one of the people. I want to be one of the people that sits and talks it out. Now, when I need to call somebody out, I will, and I've been called out a lot. But like, I'm not going to sit here and just call every Tory a scumbag or call everybody in Labour like a sellout, like a lot of folk do, because my experience tells me when you meet people in real life, then it's very different to the caricature in your mind. And I wouldn't be being genuine if I carried on like that, and I wouldn't be doing anybody in the community a service either.
No, we need you to keep opening doors, Darren. I'm going to play a wee song right now. Tale of Two Cities, featuring our good friend, rest in peace, to Sarah Syndigo. As well. Tell us about this song.
Basically, two songs kind of merged together. So what I was just trying to do was show the contrast between the west end of the city and the sort of scheme. And where I was trying to also recreate like a time when I remember when I was, the first few times I had been at the West End, I was going to a child psychologist, and the first thing I noticed wasn't the money, it was how chilled out everybody was. It's when I started to understand what's the advantage these people out there have got. It's an emotional advantage. Don't freak out the same way we do, so they're not scared of each other, so they're not aggressive. And I know money and privilege is a part of that, but it's deeper than just money. And so like, I tried to kind of recreate that in this song, then also in the context of this album, which like GIMP is a story and this is a kind of prequel to that. Then what I was trying to show was that this character who becomes the journalist, this is the first time that they intersect with privilege and affluence. So it shows their insecurities, it shows the dynamic that's different between where they grew up and going into a community that's a wee bit posh.
Well, let's run this.
Another scorcher here on Byers Road. Great day to dig out those retro shades, crack open a can of sparkling Fairtrade cucumber schnapps, and let that designer poodle off the leash. And if you're heading to Kelvin Grove Park to drink Buckfast ironically, don't forget to keep it tuned to West End FM, the true voice of Glasgow.
I guarantee he did it from a position of fuck you. A wise man's life based around fuck you.
Step off the 44 on Uni Ave and Byers Road to go pick up my laptop, mountain bike and buy a phone. First thing you notice is the pavements and how clean they are. You never see a dog wandering off of the lead bazaar. People effortlessly doing things I'm hopeless at, like cooking food for scratch and putting bags in colour-coded bins. Students talking politics and culture over pumpkin lattes. There's more than one type of coffee and they have it in glasses. Off to Juice Garden for a shot of pomegranate, pivot into fat face, grab myself a bomber jacket. Fresh homemade gingerbread for the coffee house. The girl undoes the top button of a spotted blouse, and I hold the door for her pretending that I'm not aroused, wishing I had something interesting that I could talk about. But in truth I always feel reserved when I'm out west, conscious of how I sound and dress. Out of my depth, everybody cycles even though they own two cars. Trees leer over the tenements like security guards. People so expressive, everybody looking fab. This is how people dress when they're no fear they'll get stabbed. Guess I'm stuck between resentment and admiration, cause life is better here by nearly every calculation. One day I could live here if I could get it together. Govan looks great for the other side of the river.
I'm Sarah Syndigo and you are listening to Drawn to the Community on Sunny Govan Radio. We're joined in the studio today by a fantastic guest who's someone I admire greatly for their community work, and I'm very excited that he can be here for our first ever live broadcast. Let me welcome Loki, Scottish Rapper, aka Darren McGarvy.
Step off the underground onto a broken escalator into a housing scheme where the bookies opens before the bakers. Teenage mothers pushing 20 like a shaky pram, talking Rihanna while posting photos of their baby scans. Thinking, what am I going to be doing today? Bookies mate, humour mate. I just lost a bet on Pistorius getting let off of the hook again, so I'm busting round my mates to kill some hookers on his computer games. Up the high rise, we're literally pent up, living 10 up. Sitting playing roulette, stressing about the rent, getting drunk. The stair smells like wet dogs, the lift isn't much better even when it works. You got a cheek to lecture us about obscenities. The local library's full of DVDs about celebrities. Thanks for your job advice, I'm having none of it. Fuck a career, you hear me? I'll burn that bridge when I come to it. An atheist sarcastically asked me how karma works. I told him like irony does. He gave a passive shrug and stepped onto the road to dodge a beggar wanting smashed for the bus and got killed by an ambulance. I took the beggar to the shop, bought his fags and munch. He asked for cash and such, I said I'll go one better, and I handed him a wad of drugs. He said I'm not a junkie. Offended, I randomly judged, so I made him buy the lunch and smoked his crack through an ivory tusk. Things never change around here, let me tell you. Keep yourself to yourself, but God help you. I'm on edge, my short temper is deadly. As you can see, then I'm not very healthy. You won't catch me at the West End Deli. The job centre's not qualified to help me. On the scrap heap, forgotten by the wealthy. I guess that's why they call me a lefty. I'm not the type to humbly ask for a job, I'm a fucking saboteur. Storming into the Pacific Key to the cameras are on. Taking a 40-yard run and kicking a fucking albatross at the radio Alba boss while he's buying his family candy floss. Cowball was what I was started on. The social ladder missed a step, so I started playing racquetball with a padded wall. Thinking I'm not paranoid or mad at all. As I clocked the last drops in my mustache box, tanned a lot, smashed it all. Got high enough to see the world as it could have been and laughed it off and came down with a tramadol parasol. She's talking the white fence in the Labrador. What do I need marriage for? I'm hooked on daughter-father porn. Busting out the scabby jacket, choking on an amber smog, nursing a scratch card like a casualty of war. In it for the taste of blood. When will you learn your offence is not an object of my narrow concern? Things never change around here, let me tell you. Keep yourself to yourself, but God help you. I'm on edge, my short temper is deadly. As you can see, then I'm not very healthy. You won't catch me at the West End Deli. The job centre's not qualified to help me. On the scrap heap, forgotten by the wealthy. I guess that's why they call me a lefty. How come the answer to every question is get a job? In this building site you call society, I function as a world-class wrecking ball. Bravado helps me hide the fact that I feel less than all the ineffectual draws peddled by these intellectual snobs. Fuck your metaphors, shut it down in my face, you'll get a firework for your letterbox. So much to step on my lawn, an ex-middle-class cunt that tells me to calm down is getting letterbombed. What do you mean this verse is long and that you're reading the choral section every 12 for the song to stop you from heading off? I wrote this very song, perched on the edge of thought, watching a desert form. And your only comment was the swearing draw, or the fact I'm mispronouncing Renaissance. As I look across the river at you sipping your pims, wishing I could get hooked on yoga, swimming in gyms. As I can't chicken dippers, Liddles, crisps and 70 million minute sims. Bingo wings over Scotland, this is a little grim. Cloaking all my illicit sins in an insignificant rhythmic din. No bad for a kid that used to live in a bin. In truth, I'm sitting here on Twitter in my
Bingo
pants
wings over
with
Scotland?
7 chins.
Yeah, it was a wee shout out to my man Stuart Campbell, who
love-
doesn't want a beef. He doesn't want a rap beef. When he refers to me as a rapper, he does it in inverted commas.
Okay.
Aye, which is obviously, that's like me saying
It's a-
Stuart Campbell
it's
is a
diss-
journalist.
It's a diss, isn't it?
Aye,
It's a
said
diss,
this, man. Said this.
Fuck that cunt, man. You know what I mean? I've got some questions for the people here. Let's see if we can go through this quite rapid, actually.
Cool.
Where did the name Loki come from? That's
It's
for
for
tricks.
Norse. It's for Norse mythology, and I first heard it for the film Dogma, which is Kevin Smith's interpretation of the Norse mythology. So Loki was played by Matt Damon, and I heard people in my school talking about it. I looked into it, I was like, wow, man, I really relate to this character. He's a shapeshifter,
Okay.
a home wrecker.
Okay.
He's transgender as well.
Okay, interesting.
Interesting, totally. Aye. So he,
Pure
so that was
PC.
it. Really, I just went with it and it stuck.
Do you have any fears? That's from Anita.
I've got lots of fears. I fear something happening to my kids. Like, that's a daily thing when you're out with your kids. You suddenly realise how vulnerable they are and how dangerous the world is. I also fear the person that does something to my kids. I fear what will happen to them. That's just like mad dad thoughts, do you know what I mean? Just general fears, obviously. Like, I get anxious that, like, I won't be able to provide for my family, or I get anxious. I mean, even just people, I see a lot of people talking about me now online and that, and it's like most of the time I can just ignore it. But sometimes if I'm tired and vulnerable, I'm like, I start thinking maybe it's true, the things they say about me, do you know what I mean? And I've got to kind of maintain the mental well-being and not get pulled down with that shit.
Okay, Hemi says Stirling needs Loki to come back and do a gig.
Amazing. I have done a few. I'm installing every year. So I'm no doubt I'll be back out at the toll booth at some point. That's a cracking community venue.
Okay.
The toll booth through there, just a really kind of I mean, it's about 10-15 years old now, but I mean, it's still ahead of its time in terms of just the venue, the spaces, what they've got going on down there. So I love travelling all out of Dairy Things.
Okay, Alexander says, do you think we need to up the price of Mad Dog 2020?
I think like it's already been affected by minimum pricing. So I think like it's probably now mere a fair price. If you're correlating the price alcohol with the cost to society, then I think it's a fair price.
Paul says one difference between Govan and the West End is the latter isn't a traumatised community.
I mean, there is that people still get traumatised. People in affluence still have to deal with bereavement, job loss, insecurities, all the normal human life stuff. It's just that when you're not growing up in an environment where everybody's stressed out, then it means that you've got more emotional reserves to absorb it. And then if you have the emotional reserves, then you're able to be more socially mobile to get on in life. So you've got the material reserves. So if somebody dies, it's no problem getting a motor booked and getting a coffin bought and doing all the things. Where if that happens to a working class family, it can send everybody into disarray because they're just panic mode. Know what I mean? If you've already got a hard drinker in the house, then that shit just puts some people in a downward spiral.
Yeah. Let's talk about the rap battle you done recently for Lumo's fundraising event for his documentary.
Cool.
I was gutted. I wasn't too chuffed with it.
What were you no chuffed about?
First stop, right, I was at the back and I couldn't really hear it too well, right? And I heard your verse, fire in it, heard some of Audacity's verse, some pretty good stuff in it, I thought.
Aye.
And then it was over.
Aye.
And then I was like, what?
Aye.
The fuck? This is a rap battle we've talked about for 3 months.
And something
I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan. You know what I mean? No disrespect here. You're not throwing any shade or fuck all, but I just thought, you know what I mean? What?
It was a situation I know that had been brewing for a lot longer than the 3 months. I mean, I was quite surprised. On one hand, I was satisfied to get in and out and do the job, but at the same time, what I know about battling is if you go in, it doesn't matter if you want to stop. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if you're the one that's called the person out.
Okay.
And you've been very vocal with your criticisms and a lot of talk. And I got a lot of respect for Greg, and we had a couple of wee chats online before it and all that, just to kind of get on the same page. And anytime I've saw him, even his early music, which is I think he's taken a lot of different influences. Like, I always respected the fact that he obviously, like, he's got that kind of that balance right between his toughness that he's obviously had to adopt to navigate his community, but also his sensitivity and being open about how he feels, whether it's his problems, you know, mentally, or things that have happened in his life, adversities. And I think that's the right balance to have if you're trying to talk to people that live in the communities. But saying that, just for a purely battle perspective, for me to feel almost kind of forced to confront this issue because of all the talk I've seen online, and then obviously people like Jails kind of hyping it up and all that. Then for me not to get to finish it the way that I wanted to finish it, was like I was robbed a wee bit of that, and I spent a lot of time working on it. I seen all the chat online, I seen people saying Loki's too busy, he's not going to be ready for this, and it was like it was all I thought about, mate. So the fact that I can do all that other stuff while preparing for that shows you how much I care. And like the thing is, man, I was talking to Shogun about this at Knock and Gorok, and like we agreed that first verse, it was nothing, man. I was using that verse as a palate cleanser because I had to get the audience to adjust for it being this really important event where we're all coming together to this is a brutal battle. And so I knew that first verse had to be the right balance of funny and winning the crowd out, letting him know it's not on, but also like no being too hard. And so that was my whole game plan. But then I really get into it with the other verses. Do you know what I mean? I show everything I can do, and like for me, the thing about battling for me, I've done some battles where I wasn't really that into it. I'd done them with obligation, or I was asked and I thought I'll say aye, it'd be nice, but I couldn't get into it because I usually like the person I was battling, and I'm not into it. If it doesn't get under my skin, I can't really prepare for it properly. I'm not motivated. But if somebody's coming at me and saying I've got a fake drink problem, and you know some of the stuff that he was saying, but it's based on like false information or gossip, then I'm like, is that right? And so I'm up for it. And I'm not just going to beat the person in the battle, but my whole game plan is I want them to count the decision to try and battle me is one of the worst decisions I've ever made in their life. Like, that's what I'm aiming for. I want them to know, don't do that, because I'm not just talking to the person that's battling, I'm talking to all the people in the audience that's doubting us. I'm talking to all the people in the audience that fancy their chances. Like, if you get under my skin, just forget it.
It's over. What do you think of this for an idea then? Maybe if you recorded the extra verses and put them on the Lumo fundraiser to encourage people to go and fuck, because I'd love to hear that.
Aye, obviously, like, I had considered, is there a way that I can get the verses out or attach some sort of like additional thing for Lumo stuff.
Yep.
And then I decided, actually, if I'm going to use some of the bars, I'll intersperse them in material and remove any references to anybody in particular.
Okay.
Because ultimately there's a closure that's involved in that battle.
Okay.
And I don't want
I get that.
I don't want to reopen anything, and I don't want anything to be misinterpreted. So if anybody hears
true.
any new stuff and it sounds, obviously they'll hear stuff that sounds like it is, even though it isn't, because they've got that history behind it. But like you know, I've interspersed what I can into new material and put it in a context where it doesn't sound like I'm dissing Audacity, because like I mean, I respect him, and I respect how he handled that night, because actually, like, I think he felt actually in real life that dealing with me in that capacity is a bit different from what it might seem online. You know, because it's just like, I know what I'm doing, and the thing is, I'm like, people in hip hop, they don't understand all the other things I've got to do. Like, I'm very experienced at dealing with the public, whether it's in crowds, pubs. I mean, I remember doing a charity gig a cappella and went on after a punk band. You could hear a pin drop, and it was just me talking shit for half an hour. So you take the tune away, I can still perform.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And a lot of folk can't know. So it's just like, you're not just dealing with a rapper or the Loki you personally think that you've heard about the last few years, or you heard I was a dick because I used to drink, or I've no whatever. Like, it's funny because I suddenly seem a wee bit more kind of like childish when I'm talking about this compared to all the other stuff. But it really matters to me. That people in hip hop understand that that I'm very serious when it comes to rap as an art form, and I'm very serious about battling when I've got to.
Well, I wanted to talk about that. You recently released Lit. Lit's a fire track.
Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dredge as well on the production.
You released that right at the same time your fucking public profile's through the roof in terms of like the mainstream, the political, all that sort of shit. But the song you released, man, in no way, the political people are not going to get that song.
Nah.
That song's for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Song's raw. Song's powerful. What's going to happen with Loki in the future? This is your thing too when it comes to the hip hop. Is it going to be something that you think, okay, this is on a sideline, I have to do this? Because we would respect it, but we would be gutted. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm going to continue to supply the people that have been there for the start with what they need and want from me, and which is perfect, because actually, like, when I get into that zone, I gave myself permission to get into the zone. I remember actually I was talking about it on Sonny Govern when the toy control stuff came out and all that, you know, and like what happened with that was I underestimated where everybody was at. So I thought, we're all getting together, this is going to be competitive. It was well before the control verse and all that dropped, you know what I mean? And it was like, I was kind of meaning it in a good spirited way. But then actually what I realised was, first of all, a lot more people were watching it, and the reaction just seemed like I was talking down to everybody. And in hindsight, I realised that was the wrong approach, but I had to make the mistake. But now actually, like, I gave myself permission, particularly because in the hip hop community I've been getting a lot of criticism for certain quarters for different things.
What quarters and what criticism? Just
questions around different things I don't really want to go into, but just when more people know who you are, more people have an opinion of you, and the more people know you are, they've not actually met you. And actually, like, it's what's of interest to me is anybody who's entertaining the idea that I'm not one of the top rappers in this country, full stop. Like, doesn't matter what's happening with the grime, it doesn't matter what's happening. Like, I respect what people are doing so much for how honest they're being, whatever the promotion game is, getting on top of their business. But like, I've been doing all that shit for a long time, managing that shit with the help of people like Black Lantern, with the help of now This Is Not Pop, just helping to get my whole operation on, like, rolling out professionally. So like, I'm there is something about me. There is that wee 18-year-old me. It's like, ah, what? Is that right? Aye. And I feel like I'm not going to deny that impulse, because it's coming from an honest place, even if it's kind of irrational for a 34-year-old guy to be doing that. And plus, when I look at other MCs and I look at somebody like Bose, and I look at how Galaxy is with his whole operation, with originality he brings to it, and how he gets the balance right between staying true to himself and hip hop, but also just letting people know, like, he's somebody that definitely thinks he's the best MC. People like that can coexist. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily to bring other people down, it's just you represent yourself. So we let in a lot of these other new tunes, then you're going to hear that more aggressive style where I'm not using big words, I'm using wee words to say big things. And as well as that, you know, more emotional stuff, deeper stuff that's not necessarily big concepts that interlock with each other. It's just me kind of like Friendly World style. Here's a bunch of tunes that all just kind of like you just put on and just
what's
get into a
next
vibe.
for you, Loki, in terms of like, is that you got another book in the pipeline, or?
I'm working on the book and I'm working on the Fringe show. And then, so the Fringe show's a full run. It'll be like 20 shows or something in August. So I'll need to go and live in Edinburgh basically. The book
expensive time as well, Dan, but you must be fucking making the money.
Well, the good thing about the situation that I'm in now, after many years of busting my arse and people know opening doors for me, is the fact that I have people that are willing to take a lot of the legwork out of it for me. Now obviously that comes at a certain cost, but at the same time I'm moving into a new place where I can focus more on the creativity of it, and other people can deal with other stuff, which is where I've always wanted to be, and where anybody wants to be.
So how many shows is that at the Fringe?
I'm on for the 3rd of August to the 25th, in a 200 capacity theatre.
Okay, wow.
Where people like Lemmy, Jerry Sadovitz, Ruby Wax have all done their thing, and so like it's a fresh challenge for me. The show's a mixture of kind of like music, spoken word, comedy, where I'll explore the topic of masculinity, and really just like, you know, people who know me will enjoy it, and people who are just hearing about me will be like, I might think about rap again in a new light.
Good.
But obviously, like, aside for that, new stuff that's kind of coming on my radar is more of these kind of documentaries, TV work. You know, there's talk, I don't know if it will come to anything, but there's talk of TV shows, me going out into the country, talking to people, getting my own TV show.
Amazing.
And having a certain level of creative control over what's going on as well, which is vital, otherwise I wouldn't get on board with it. So really I'm just going to continue to try and carry the message that I've been carrying, but just hit all these other mediums, because I need a fresh challenge, and also I know that I can do a lot more than really what I'm known for doing.
Final Poverty Safari show. St. Luke's.
Just before Christmas. They like DF came back to me, they were like, we want to do this again. I was like, well, let's make it a farewell show, let's do it in St. Luke's, all seated 300, and then I was just like, nah, move the seats away, we'll go for 600, because you want to beat what you done the last time. So it's like a fresh challenge, because it was a mission getting that place full. Obviously Tuts would be for most people. Your profile's higher neuro down as well. Aye, exactly. So it's like I think we can do it, and even if we get 400, 500 in, and we'll do the same. We'll attach it to some sort of like project, maybe even Sonny Govan. Do you know what I mean? It would be good to attach it to a couple of things. Today's awareness and divert a bit of like cash somewhere, and just do the same vibe. Obviously, except this time people will get to see the full show finished, whereas the last time I was just testing it out. Okay. Damn, you've run right out of time, man. Thanks for coming in. We could talk for a while, but I'm sure we can talk again in the future. Aye. And I'm sure your life at the moment is going to be opening up other doors and other adventures. So we'll have plenty of shit to talk about again, man. You brought over the new EP, and I've not heard it yet, so I don't know what to play, so you can pick, and that'll be our final track tonight. Oh, cool. Okay, well, play, there's one on there, and I think it's called Politics, or Canary in a Coal Mine is the working title. Canary in a Coal Mine, yeah. Go for that. Tell us about that. This tune is on the EP. It might be on the album, but it's also one of the bonus tracks on the Lumo compilation, which you can get if you go and donate a $5 to the Crowdfund. Okay. And you get the battle, and you also get a compilation album of different tracks. So it was a late submission because I just got it finished.
Darren, best of luck with everything, my man.
Cheers,
You know,
respect.
we're in your corner, I'm in your corner. Anything I can do, I'm here for you. And I look forward to seeing you fucking just smashing doors down and representing you, Pollok, and Scottish Hip Hop, wherever you fucking go, man.
I'm
And
here for you as a non-member as well, do you know what I mean? So
I
same
know that,
both
Darren.
ways.
I know that, bro. Anyway, here's the track. Catch you all soon.
Next
Peace.
one, cheers.
Something kiddo, tell every cunt I've had it with them. Fuck radicalism and the system. Fuck kindness when your back's against the algorithm. I would much rather kill them with reciprocal altruism. I jump on a track like bangarang. Pull up in a 89 whip waving batarangs. Jokers at the deck when I'm dropping slang. Big it up, I support the scene like a rope supports a hanging man. Big up all the journalists, it's giving my work a punt. By the way, there's they seen Pollok, but there's one in cunt. Oh, you had a good year, good shit, bro. Do that 15 times in a row. Gloves off, fuck boss, all eyes on me like a Russian gunboat approaching the Gulf Coast. I'm with more dumb jokes than a Trump roast. Coming to your gig, rolling deeper than your mum's throat. I think you're sensing the threat that you're facing's quite real. Everybody hit the deck and I might yield. I'm past caring how any cunt might feel. To me, you're just a fucking clown running across a minefield. I came a long way from standing on a dough line, like a canary in a coal mine. If only I'd have known back then the whole time I was sitting on a gold mine. Crashed a Vespa in the window of the yes bar. Woke up on the Death Star. For anybody into metaphors there, yeah, I'm a way to throw a fucking tenner in a swear jar. I'm a leader, that's why I don't follow back. You think it's 2 short planks on a 0 hours contract, trying to cash a glass check at the bottle bank and still thinks waving a Scottish flag is a moral act. I take a focused approach to my quotables, I hope it's notable. Don't go to Loki show, expected snow patrol. My portfolio's a showboat, a colloquial opprobrium, sailing an ocean of emotional petroleum. For a socialist, I'm not very sociable, which is ironic as capitalism being overthrown by the disruptive technology made affordable. Want to impress me? Go take a shit without a mobile phone. I came a long way from standing on a dough line, like a canary in a coal mine. If only I'd have known back then the whole time I was sitting on a gold mine. Reporting live from Special Branch in the pale moonlight where the devils dance. On the fence between an orange lodge and a rebel band, buzzing anaesthetic gas with the desert rats. Planning revolutions on a gender balanced tennis ranch. Discussing the number of woman gondoliers Venice has. Selling Che Guevara pencils in a meta-ethics class. Rubbing my sweaty palms waiting for the West to collapse. Can't hear myself a pots calling kettles black. Just get tell on my stand by a Glasgow Celtic fan debating who's the best at rap. Settled that like a dentist tab. Don't believe me, you can check the tags at the forensic lab. I suggest yous all brace yourself for pelters, lads. They sound like I feel threatened, lads. Pumped your maw for a shot of your flexi, passing through the Scottish rap freshman class through a pane of plexiglass. I came a long way from standing on a dough line, like a canary in a coal mine. If only I'd have known back then the whole time I was sitting on a gold mine. Moonlight where the devils dance, where the devils dance.
Any plans for the weekend, mate?
I keep cocaine in containers in the kitchen.